So for more insight, we welcome to studio Lieutenant Colonel in the Reserves, Doron Avital, former commander in the Special Forces in the IDF. Thank you so much for being here. These kind of exercises are nothing new to you, but certainly unprecedented. According to those on the ground, we're seeing a warming of relations. We're seeing a tight relationship. Your take?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in terms of Special Forces, we used to have those connections in a very intimate scale, but to see in this kind of a scale, to see those operations, those drills conducted together in the north, it's both an expertise sharing, but also signaling about the cooperation in case things would go bad in the north, the cooperation between Israel and the US, and of course the fact that we are now under the command of CENTCOM, which is a change that was followed by the Abraham Accord. So this is a very impressive exercise and a very impressive signal.
We keep on hearing about a multi-front threat. Yeah. How prepared is Israel for such an eventuality, and how significant are exercises like this in the potential lead-up to a scenario like that?
I think Israel will right now have many fronts that are bubbling, if you want, we can say. We have the Gaza, and we had this Gaza operation not a long time ago. We have the West Bank. Basically, we have in the northern Samaria, and we really have a war, a daily special forces kind of a war conduct. And the north is always threatening. We have, of course, the Syrian front, and our attempt to block the entrenchment of Iranian or Hezbollah forces in Syria. And Hezbollah, I think we always take him as our main foe in this context. So everybody talks about nuclear context, but the real conventional context of all those fronts is really very alarming. And the Israeli armies really want to be very well prepared to such a conflict in so many fronts simultaneously even.
Doron Avital, stay with us. We've got much more to discuss on the security front, because meanwhile, Israeli soldiers are training in an Arab Muslim country for the first time ever, with 12 members of the IDF in Morocco for an international military exercise with 16 other countries. Members of the elite Golani unit are joining the exercise called African Lion, and it's all happening under the direction of the US Command for Africa. A military source telling I24 News this all started in March last year, when a senior IDF delegation went to Morocco, laying the foundation for a close military relationship between the country's two armies. So now for more insight, we welcome Mohammed Chatou, political analyst and senior professor at the University of Rabat, and he joins us from Rabat. Professor, thank you so much for your time. 12 elite Israeli soldiers joining in this exercise. The optics are certainly historic. Your take on what is happening right now in Morocco?
Well, this means that this alliance is at its best, it's a paroxysm. It means that the relations between Morocco and Israel are really going very well. For the last 2 years, there have been things happening everywhere in the economy, in education, and now it's in the military. And this participation is very important in the sense that the Israeli soldiers will bring their expertise in fighting terrorism. And it's good news for fighting terrorism in the Sahara Desert and in sub-Saharan countries, and also all over the world.
And obviously, all thanks to the Abraham Accords, Israel and Morocco normalizing relations back in 2020 already. And then we see today National Security Advisor Saki Hanegbi welcomed by Nasser Bourita, the Foreign Affairs Minister, in Rabat today. Talk to us about the kinds of discussions and meetings that are happening on the ground in Rabat right now.
Well, I think the meetings that are happening in Rabat are very important, because it shows that this alliance that I'm talking about is really very important. It's in every area. There are exchanges, very interesting exchanges, whether they're political, military, social, educational. And I think that Morocco and Israel are doing just fine and showing the way for other countries in the area that the Abraham Accords can bring a lot of good for all nations. And what I would like to add is that it seems that the Negev summit will be taking place in Morocco, in the Moroccan desert, in Sahara Desert, in this month of June. And I think this is also another sign that this is going very well, thank you, and that the relations are really at their best.
Very briefly, we don't have much time. Is it your sense that that is the sentiment on the ground for people in Morocco, that they are still positive about this move forward, this warming of ties with Israel right now?
Well, it's so positive on the ground because there are a lot of people coming from Israel, Moroccan Jews or Israelis, but there are also Moroccan visiting, and there are thousands of them, and their visits are bringing a lot of, good things to Morocco in terms of the strengthening the relationships between Morocco and Israel.
Well, it certainly is fascinating to see. Professor Mohammed Chachal, thank you so much for speaking to us live from Rabat. Appreciate your time and your insight.